Psst, check this out.
Hey there, welcome to another episode of the Backchannel. On today's episode, I want to talk a little bit about how founders should consider the way venture capitalists and other investors think about you. I think it'll change the way you approach your pitches with investors, how you communicate with them overall, how you connect with them, and how you become more successful at convincing them to give you money. This comes from a quote that I saw shared by a bigger creator, but the specific smaller creator's name is Denzel Rust. I think that's what he goes by on social media. Anyways, he had this quote that said, everyone is always rooting for you. Your parents want you to be a great son. Your wife wants you to be a great husband. Your boss wants you to be a slam dunk hire. Every first date you've ever been on, they've been rooting for you to get laid. Every time you started to tell a joke, people hoped it would have a hilarious punchline. Your proximity to anyone is a reflection of themselves, meaning the deck is never stacked against you, and your failures are completely your own. I really love this quote in so many ways. And when I think about it, I'm like, yeah, it's totally true. People aren't like, I hope this person is going to suck. They want your experience with them to be amazing because, selfishly, that makes their experience with you amazing. There's a very positive way to think about it. It helps sort of break down the nerves that I think everyone has, the anxiety they have with interacting with other people. The universe is conspiring for you. And so when I think about a couple things in terms of how founders approach venture capitalists, the first one is just to have that mindset. VCs want you to be great. If you get a chance to send them an email, have 30 seconds with them in an elevator, have a full pitch meeting with them, meet their whole partnership, they want you to be great. Selfishly, because they want you to be great so that you could become one of their great investments. So that should fill you up with a lot more excitement, a lot more confidence than maybe you've been going into these interactions with. And the second, more nuanced thing about this is how to really consider what's happening when you are in a live pitch with venture capitalists and they're peppering you with questions. I know founders often will lock up anytime someone questions them in a pitch meeting, ask them a deeper question, ask them to explain something. And there can be a few particularly bad reactions to that. But one of the main ones is to get defensive and to want to fight back and to feel upset about the questions that are coming their way or be nervous about not having the right answer, et cetera. I think the reality is you need to embrace that greater concept, which is they're rooting for you to be great. And the second thing is if they are asking questions, it's actually a sign that they're interested. You've done a good job of hooking them and they want clarification. They want to learn more. They want to get deeper. So for the most part, if a venture capitalist is asking you hard questions, that's a good thing. Use that as a jump off point to collaborate with them, to understand exactly what they're looking for. Because maybe the question is a difficult question because you're not quite sure exactly what they're getting at. Feel free to clarify. Say, oh, that's a great question. Are you asking about this or asking about that? I always tell founders, a good venture capitalist is not trying to make themselves feel smarter. They're not trying to make you feel bad. I'm sure there are bad horror stories about VCs running people through the ringer to embarrass them. But for the vast, vast majority of investors, especially the good ones, they are not doing that to stroke their own ego. They're not doing that to make you feel bad. In fact, if they don't like you or if they don't like your pitch, they're not going to waste their time or their breath asking more questions. They'll actually try to get the meeting to end sooner, quicker, with less energy expended. And so they won't actually engage with you if they're interested. So if they're engaged with you, they're interested, and you should be ready to try to engage with them back and give them what they want. Build on top of that momentum that you have. Venture capitalists want you to succeed, as are most people that you interact with in this world. All right. I hope this has been a helpful reframing of how you go about life, especially as you interact with venture capitalists. And I'll see you on another episode of the Backchannel. The founders I see that do best in company building and fundraising have a secret weapon. Their secret weapon is a community of people, of experts, of peers in the startup industry that they can ask for help from at any time, guide them through processes like fundraising. I wanted to make that easier for everyone else to have access to by building the Adamant fundraising program and community. This gives you access to 75 different training videos around the fundraising process to give you that expert starting point around how to actually execute fundraising, and then access to a community where we host live pitch deck teardowns and office hours every week to make sure that you can ask the minute questions on how your deck should be better, how you should reform your strategy, how you should answer investors who are reaching out to you that you don't know how to answer. So if you want to check that out, if you want to get the secret weapon that I think a lot of the best founders have, check out adamantfundraising.com and join us today.